Right. So by the time you watch this video to the very end, you'll maybe think that I'm doing this on purpose. When trust me, I'm not. This is not the path that I initially wanted to walk down. I thought it was going to be a much happier and easier path, but unfortunately that's something that not a lot of people can control. Especially me. The only thing I can control is whether or not to stop or not. Is it too late to cancel? Fuck it.
Wires are fizzing about Pope's murder. Blue traffic is up. Way up. Don't know what's got into them. Must be contract renewal time. Be careful out there, Sal.
Hello all you gaming pals and gals, my name is Gamessnia and welcome to the show that dissects games from the past, present or sometimes maybe even the future and decides what their judgment is going to be. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Gamessnia show. Jeez, so it feels like 2021 has just passed us almost immediately. I mean, what month is this? Like the 9th or something like that? Hold on. Yeah, October. It's October right now. Fucking Jesus, that is turned extremely quick. I remember, like, when I was a kid, the months used to pass by so long, and now it just feels like they just pass by so quick. It's funny when you think that as an adult, like, you just genuinely get to that age and you just think, wow, these months pass by so quick. It's ridiculous. And it's not just the months as well. Years just go by so quick. Like, Jesus. I think it was last year where it went by so long because of, the whole breakout and all that of COVID. And then I think it was the year before where it just went by so quick because it was just so eventful. It just goes by so quick. Fuck, it's been so long since I've had like a really long year, like a feeling of a long year. Obviously a year is like 12 months, duh, but I can't remember the last time I felt like a year lasted as long as it should have. It just feels like it goes by so quick. The last time I actually feel like that was actually 2008. Oh, and trust me, that year was a big one because that was quite remembered for all of us PlayStation fans, as we could all call it the breakout year for the PlayStation 3. 2008 was the year for the PS3 thanks to all the games you are currently seeing on your screen now, especially the month of October with numerous game hits of that year, including the 2008 Breakthrough Game of the Year, Little Big Planet, because why the fuck not?
Posibilidades. Un plano abstracto de asombrosa belleza que aguarda a ser explorado. Y ahora tú puedes visitarlo.
Wait just a second, that's not right. Look at this. Look at the innovation. You can move your limbs separately. You can emote. This was the most adorable shit ever. However, there is a game from this year that I've never touched or played in my entire life, but I've heard so much about it, and that game is none other than Mirror's Edge. But have you ever had those games where you see them on the shelf in a game store and you think to yourself, you know what, I'm going to wait until I play it. I'm going to save time or save money and I'm going to wait until I play it down the line. And you literally don't play it for around 5 or 6 years. That type of case. I mean, I know there's a good amount of people who have never had that feeling, but I know there's a good amount of people who have had that. I mean, my type of list would be stuff like Tomb Raider Reboot, Transformers War for Cybertron, and The Last of Us. Yes, seriously, it took me a good 4 or 5 years to actually sit down and properly play it, and it thankfully was on the PS4. And yes, I have played it, and I think it's fucking amazing. And another case for me, another game, would be Mirror's Edge. And the strange but weird thing is about this game, I've heard good reception of it, but when the reception isn't good, I don't hear much about it. Which is, it fills me with a bit of excitement, but also at the same time makes me worry. Because I swear, if this is another game where it's not good and it sets my disappointment factor so high, I'ma be pissed.
Well, to blatantly start off, it's red, 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 bit of white, and even more red. I think it needs more red. What is this, a modern Matrix? It's not just the colours that seems like the Matrix, it's the city as well. It just feels a bit empty and it's all big buildings that all have the same style and default few slated look to them. You know, just like the design of all the Matrix movies. But what matters really is one thing, and it's a very important thing this time round. Parkour! That's where I can turn to, learning how to parkour, because you don't just learn it, you have to feel it, and you have to properly live it with the wind blowing through your hair, my man. Okay, I'll stop. You learn it through this quick 2-minute tutorial, but that's kind of the problem I have here. You learn everything in the 2 minutes you're given.
Everything?
Oh, and I don't just mean the parkour aspect, but also everything such as how to land properly, activate slow motion, counter and disarm, and finally, the combat. Can I even call it that? Combat should be the name for something that has detail and something to rely on when in trouble, and you know, doesn't actually make me want to go kill myself. And you know, if I was to round up Mirror's Edge combat in just one word, there's precisely one word I would use to describe it, and that is pathetic. Was there any thought process put in here? Seriously, I'm fucking serious. I'm genuinely asking, and I'm genuinely curious over this. Was there any at all? I personally would like to know.
But it's okay, because we here at the Gamessnia show have received an exclusive clip coming from an anonymous source who would not like to be named at this current time, detailing and giving a full representation of what the Mirror's Edge combat was initially pitched to the EA headquarters team. Let's take a look.
Prepare to be written! I'm doing it! I'm doing it! Yeah! Yeah! Can some of these? Can some of these? Almost there and... done. Now let's see how it looks so far. Break time!
Part of the reason I hate the combat system is that it gets explained way too fast, as like I was saying earlier with the tutorial. And you know, the base main reason for a tutorial is to help the player understand the whole control scheme, and help them understand it, and have them be... oh, sorry, wasn't paying attention there. And help them understand it, and have them be fluent in it when playing the game. Plus, it explains the combat in 15 seconds, no less, and never reminds you again, which just adds to the whole confusion as you need it in the second mission, but will forget the controls by that point because you got explained to it literally at the very start of the game in like 20 seconds. Like, why mention the combat in the tutorial when it's never really necessary for the first mission, and you never really need to use it for a good amount of time until the second mission when it is necessary? Why not wait till the very moment we start using it so us, you know, the player, take it in at that moment and pop it into our brains so much easier? Didn't really think that one through, did you, EA? But yet again, looking at your company's track record, you never do think these things through. But you know what, folk? It never really marketed the idea of combat in the first place. I'll give this game the benefit of the doubt with what it marketed in the first place. Parkour! The whole idea of a smooth parkour system has surprisingly been nailed here. I was worried the movement would maybe feel a bit janky or maybe a tad bit messy, but no, I'll be honest, I'm impressed. Parkour! I mean, yeah, it's not perfect. It sometimes can be a pain in the ass and can be unresponsive on the odd occasion, which results in a good amount of death, which, yes, is fucking annoying and frankly a running factor. running. But for 2008, this was pretty fresh and really impressive, so I can't really scrub it to the side so easily, and ultimately forget the devs' hard work here, because really, I can only imagine that this was the tits when this first released. Fuck, even I'm impressed by the look of how Faith moves. It's pure finesse. Parkour!
And yes, you heard me right. The main character's name is Faith. The girl that we are playing as and we're supposed to be rooting for in this Matrix-looking world is called Faith. Faith. Fucking Faith. You might as well just call her Destiny or Prophecy at this point. Fucking Jesus. Like, you know what? I'm gonna ignore that. One thing that's for certain is she's not called Karen. That's the good thing.
Regardless of that, the gameplay all moves smoothly into itself, and the one thing I massively love is its momentum system, and how that heavily carries itself into how fast and efficient your movement can be. There's no one button or any simple input that enables you to run. You automatically will run based on how much momentum you carry, and you will be able to run along walls easier and get under obstructions much faster than usual. And in a way, I'm so glad they put much more effort into the idea of movement here. More than just, I woman parkour master, I artist, I best at everything, no need to practice, I better than all people. Just running across rooftops with maximum momentum constantly being carried is a thrill in itself, and it's even more energizing jumping off buildings to land in another building by safely rolling at the last possible second to keep the momentum going, which has a weird, intense, worrying feeling to it that weirdly enough is so fucking adrenaline filled that it makes it so goddamn enjoyable, especially when you chain all of these events together, because after all, parkour! This whole system is bloody amazing on how it can make you rely on your momentum a lot of the time. It doesn't look that amazing gameplay wise, but trust me, it's less about seeing it and more about experiencing it in the long run. Unfortunately though, there's just one little tiny minuscule single problem I have here. For a game based on parkour, the environments 75% of the time are just not ideal for the style it's meant to be based on, which practically just negates everything to do with the momentum system I just talked about, which is a big letdown in my opinion, because I honestly loved moving around the rooftop and throwing myself off of the building thinking that I'm Spider-Faith. The majority of time spent running, sliding, and jumping was inside, where unfortunately all the corners and minimal opportunities for parkouring are. I actually don't understand why a game like this has most of the levels held in very tight spaced areas. When there's very little room to do parkour in, it just defeats the whole purpose of making a parkour style for a game like this. The momentum idea is absolutely brilliant, but just gets shit canned because of the combination of the camera alongside with how sensitive your movements can be, and like I said earlier, because you're inside most of the time. And yes, it's pretty fucking great when traveling across the rooftops, and that's because there's space all around you to move around in. But moving around indoors, well, hold on, let me just quickly look at my notes here so I don't clarify my points wrong here, and I can actually put a mistake. I don't want to make mistakes here, so yeah. Of course, here we go. It's not fun! Why is there such a major difference of enjoyment levels when comparing the outside portions to the inside portions? There shouldn't be, quite frankly. Look how fucking smooth this was when I was on the rooftops having a lovely time, with my momentum catching decent amounts of levels, and shockingly enough, enjoying my life and not having to worry about a single thing. How brilliant. But then that smoothness takes a massive shit on himself when we start bumping into literally everything imaginable, every corner, crevice, door and wall. Literally every single thing that is considered a minor nuisance of an obstacle will slow down your momentum like a stone boulder right in the face, and with luck will really start to piss you off. I really don't get it. I honestly do not. But you know what gets me as the most annoying thing about all this is? You can have a full pure running streak and then... Oh no, look! A wall! How fucking unfortunate! That's like the 57th one I've bumped into so far. Time to yet again attempt to try and get my momentum up again for the 58th time. It's the most annoying and most dissatisfying thing ever. You slam into everything. I shit you not. Why does Miss Winner over here slam into every wall imaginable? Did you miss the walls? It's not like they're everywhere, love. Do you have an unnamed intimate relationship with these walls? Ladies and gentlemen, please remember, weird names make weird people. Just pray they don't push that boundary of not just being weird, but also being a big cuckoo up in the nest. And yeah, about Miss Winner herself, yeah, she's a big bore. But it's not just her. Literally every single person in this game is the exact same story. No development, therefore makes zero characters in the game have no character. Just like the Matrix. Like, there's supposed to be big reveals near the end of the story, but it's just so fucking predictable and so obvious that it's not really shocking to you, and it just is a big negator for the whole charade of events that happen near the end of the game. And it's a shame as well, because the world is actually really interesting to know about, with the whole runners being all across the city and having them being hunted down, which is a great concept. And the whole city, while not very well designed in terms of layout, is still ripening with potential of a good setting. But all of that means zit when you care about no one in this world. Twists mean absolutely nothing because you don't care for the plot. And because you don't care for the plot, you don't worry about the danger the characters are in, which meant you don't really care about any of the characters and the attempted development that they put in for these characters, making a lot of your playtime, well, futile. Which, even though I really did enjoy a lot of the gameplay, I basically wasted a good couple hours of my life because of this. Same goes for the combat as well. It's like I said earlier, it's not just the lack of understanding. No, wait, it is. It is the lack of understanding. The thing you need to understand more than anything with it is there is no understanding of it. I mean, just look at it. It's a clusterfuck of a system, and you can barely survive when fighting one enemy with your fist. But if you're somehow backed into a situation with fighting more than 2 gunmen, you are fucked. And oh, shooting guns as well? Oh, that's a mess as well. How do you fuck up shooting guns? Well, the camera, of course. Yes, sorting it out in the options was a thing that I tried, and it did help it out a little bit, but really, it still feels so fucking awkward. These are just the lowest points when playing Mirror's Edge, and it's nice to know they fixed this in the prequel follow-up sequel game here, but here? Yeah, can safely say everyone doesn't play Mirror's Edge for its combat. I mean, would you? Going inside just slows things down to a grinding halt, and you are prone to make mistakes every minute, which idealistically slowly ruins the fun you're meant to have, which sucks majorly, because I was really starting to love this game to start off with, especially with the whole beginnings, with them showing off this cool intro with this coolest fuck art style, which I really, really love. It's probably because I like comics and forms of manga. Oh, manga. Oh, how I love thee. Your artistic vibes turn into colour-filled panels with speech bubbles, all filled with pure, powerful passion and expression of gratitude towards its vision.
Okay, sorry, I'll stop. It's... I just love manga. I just love it with passion. I fell in love with it. Yeah, I love manga. Especially when it's something bizarre.
But even though that's all good and well done, I'm taking out of it because of how buggy this game is. There were a lot of times where texture glitches happened. But hey, at least it looks good the majority of the time and runs smoothly. But you know, with gameplay on one side that has some of the most awkward combat, with feeling so tacked on at the last minute, you ponder the question on why this was even thought of in the first place. And then you have the other half being something that is executed so well that it should be talked about, but it gets forgotten on how well it's made due to it not being used to its full potential by limiting the outside sections to a bare minimum, plus a very basic, uninteresting story with characters that don't even feel like they deserve the word characters. It all just came down to decisions at the end of the day, which is what makes this game fall to its knees ever so quickly, and that's not even the developer's fault. Well, one of them at least, because you know, the other is... yeah. It's just something that is unfortunate and cannot be helped. It's actually exactly like The Matrix, funny enough. Not just the look of it, but the overall opinion and feeling of it from my perspective. It has so much potential to be so much more, but they just take a lot of what's presented in the wrong direction. Starts off very strong with some tiny curiosities, then is a bit shaky in the middle with some really good bits that are some of the best portions of that piece of media, then the last section where you just start to understand on how good it is not, and what problems help make it a major letdown.
Mirror's Edge is interesting, it's promising, it's all these words I could put out. I just don't like the fact that you spend most of the time indoors where parkour is mainly done in the outside, and when it's done in the outside in this game, it's fantastic, it's lovely, it's so fucking good. The mechanics for it is so amazing. The momentum system at the time when you're outside works and it's fucking amazing, but when you're indoors it just sucks the life out of it, and that just honestly really bugs me inside. It really fucking does. And especially with the whole combat that sucks, like, oh my god, it's so bad. So bad. Easily one of the worst combats I've ever played in the game. I can't believe it. It falls flat again. Another bad game. Oh my god, can I just get one game? That's all. Like, that's all I ask. Seriously, this is all I ask. I don't ask for it to be a masterpiece. I don't ask it to be amazing. I don't ask it to be like something little or like a long campaign driven of 20 hours of storytelling. I just ask for a good game. Can I just get one good game? That's all I ask. Just one. Just one. One, and then you can be a bad one. And then you can go, and then we could go like maybe a mix of bad and good. But no, I keep getting bad ones. I genuinely thought Mirror's Edge was going to be that game that was going to be good. It was going to be just good. Not amazing, just good. But even that, it didn't fucking do that job, did it? Ugh. But still, anyway, guys, I all hope you have a nice day today watching this, and just have a lovely rest of day, afternoon, or have a good sleep. I don't know when you're watching this, so I don't know, I'm just guessing. So you can watch this at night time or anything like that, because I know I watch YouTube videos at night a lot of the time, so I understand why some people will be watching this at night time. But yes, I all hope you have a good day, whether it's day, noon, or night. And I will all see you in the very next Gamessnia Show episodes. If I don't kill myself by that point, probably won't go to that far extent, but you know, I'm not going to be okay after the camera turns off. But anyway, guys, I will see you all in the next Gamessnia Show episode. Gamessnia, signing off once more.